Geelong and District Football League would like to thank the following sponsors: Smith's Holden, Buckley's Entertainment Centre, Corio Bay Health Group.
And welcome back, and of course every Saturday morning we look forward to the Colt segment and its finals time. Here's Alex Tigani.
Well, Dick, at about early May one Saturday morning, I told you, the viewers, that Bannockburn and North Geelong would make the Division 3 Grand Final. I was right on North Geelong. A miracle Blake Podner goal would see them win by 2 points over Corio 1, but unfortunately for Bannockburn, they bowed out in the first semi-final, and we were able to catch up with their coach in Matt Watts.
Well, Matt, sadly, straight sets knockout in the finals. What do you think's happened?
A bit disappointed, obviously. Come to the finals, I told our blokes that it's a different game. Work rates have to be a bit higher, and especially here, big ground. I think we sort of just took for granted a few things and probably didn't quite work hard enough come the last couple of games. So unfortunately we bowed out, but you know, not a lot we can change now.
Yep. Looking back on the season, what were the positives? I mean, there was that 1 point thriller over North Geelong amongst many different highlights.
To me, the positives were obviously the way we progressed from last year. Last year, we really struggled for numbers and, you know, struggled to get kids on the training track and stuff like that. This year, we had a good list, good group of kids. For me, it was pretty pleasing to get them along nearly every week, and just the way we got together as a group. Obviously, played some good footy through the year, but now it doesn't count for a great deal because obviously we bowed out a couple of games before getting to the grand final.
Yep. Jai Robinson kicking the opening goal in true captain's form today. How have you found his leadership throughout the year?
Yeah, Jai's been fantastic. Last week in a game where we were down, he really dug deep in the last couple of quarters. You know, he's obviously had a pretty stellar year. I think obviously a good prospect for the club moving forward. He will play senior football moving forward. He's played a few games already, so you know it's good. That's what under 18s footy's about. At the end of the day, he's blood and kids to go to the next level. So yeah, good prospect for us.
Yep. One last one, will you be coaching next year and also continuing playing at senior level?
At this stage we haven't spoken about what I'm doing next year. For me, a lot's going to depend on what happens with work, because unfortunately I work at Alcoa, which is, as everyone knows, going down. So where I end up with work is going to be a big bear on what I do. I'd love to stay at the club. I'd love time, if time right, still coach, and I definitely still want to play, but like I said, a lot depends on where I end up with work.
Yep. Well, thanks very much for joining us and for all those efforts every Thursday night, Tuesday night and every Saturday morning.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well done to all the Bannockburn boys there. The captain, Jai Robinson, who was just mentioned, he came runner-up in the Division 3 League Best and Fairest, and that was won by Cody Carruthers of North Geelong. But it's the winner of today's game, Corio 1 and South Barwon 2, that take on North Geelong in that grand final. And the whisper has it that BJO2 for Corio has been ruled out. So makes for a very exciting clash this morning. But until then, until we find out who wins the grand final, it's back to you, Dick.
This morning we have a very special guest on this morning. He is the chairman of the AFL Barwon, Mr. Craig Keating. G'day, mate. How you going?
G'day, Dick. Good morning.
Nice to have you in on a Saturday morning, and with the big finals campaign coming up this afternoon.
Lots of action coming up, Dick. It should be really good.
Yeah, it should be great, mate. Now, Craig, let me just ask you the question. AFL Barwon, I know how it was basically started. The AFL Victoria AFL decided that we should be regionalised around the state, around Australia, and of course in Geelong it was AFL Barwon that was formed. It's been going a couple of years now, and basically where are we at the moment with it?
Well, Dick, we've come a long way. We've structured up. We've got some extra resources for the clubs. The aim of the exercise, as identified by Peter Jackson, was to give local people more control over the resources that were for football, and we're lucky enough to have 3 football development managers now. John Edsel, who's recently retired and done a great job for many years, and 2 new FDMs in Tim McMichael and Luke Marr. So we direct them into some more local activity and actually prioritise the sorts of things that these fellows do, bearing in mind what our clubs need, what we think our clubs need most, and so far that's working really well. We're also franchising. We've been franchised at the growth of football in the region, so our role is to ensure that footy is healthy, strong, and most importantly viable and well-run clubs. So that's our focus. There's a number of matters on our strategic plan that we want to address, but that's the primary aim.
You mentioned Tim McMichael. He sat in that chair a few weeks back as another one of our guests, and we went through his Tasmanian background, how he compared the leagues. It's my understanding you came from the Western District of Victoria.
Yep.
So how have you found the management of those leagues over there compared to the Barwon region?
Oh, look, it's a different thing. In the West, we had more disparate places with clubs spread far and wide. So Geelong has some exciting possibilities. There's a lot of difference between AFL Barwon and the other regions in terms of the ability for growth, natural growth and organic growth, and just more people, and the growth of the game compared to those far-flung regions in rural areas where they're more concerned about being able to sustain what they've got. We've got an eye to trying to grow the numbers in our region to make footy prosper.
Craig, one of the big talking points that's been coming out in the last few months has been the restructuring of football in the Geelong region, and that of course involves promotion and relegation. Where's that at the moment, and when do you think that may come into play?
Well, Dick, it may involve promotion relegation. At the moment, we've got a working party that's got 3 or 4 commissioners and a number of football people from outside of the commission, and their role is to look at where we're at, what we need to do, and where we need growth, where we need new clubs, and where clubs maybe are not sustainable where they are, to find somewhere for them to be able to become sustainable and viable clubs. We don't want to lose any clubs, and we'll do everything we can to maintain the number of clubs, but we have to be realistic in looking at there are places and areas within Geelong where we may need to provide further infrastructure and clubs for people to be able to play our game going forward.
Yep. Are there any timelines as we speak as to when certain action may be taking place?
Yep. We're looking to have the report will be handed to the Commission sometime during this year, probably within a month or two. The Commission then consider the report, so the report's not a fait accompli. The Commission then considers the report and then decides what action to take from there, and then it's a matter of engaging with the stakeholders to bring a result.
I know it's a GDFL show, and at the moment the Geelong District Footy League, well administered, going along very nicely at the moment. Probably none of our clubs basically really stand out at the moment as being in real big trouble consistently, and I know I can probably bring this up quickly. Newcombe Power in a lot of trouble in the Ballerine, obviously. Getting beaten by 50, 60 goals is not a very good thing. And North Shore in the GFL. Would those clubs be part of a system whereby they may be looking to go up or down a division or whatever? Is that how it's supposed to work?
Well, yeah, it's not only based on on-field activities, because some clubs play a key role within their community, and both of those clubs have a role to play in their community. But sure, those clubs need to be supported, and they need to be sustainable and viable, and we'll work with them to make sure that's the case. There's no promotion relegation won't necessarily solve any of those clubs' problems, and it won't help us to grow the game. So from our point of view, we need to do the work so that we understand exactly where those clubs sit, and then work out the best way for all clubs to move forward. There's a number of other clubs that have issues to resolve as well.
It certainly is a great talking point, mate, what's going on and how football can be restructured. Everyone's got their opinion, as you probably gather when you go around the clubs and go into the half-time entertainment. Everyone wants to have a crack at you occasionally, mate, but as far as I'm concerned, I reckon you're doing a great job, and we certainly need some strong leadership in football in any region, and if AFL Barwon can provide that in the years to come, football's in great hands, mate. So thanks very much for coming in, Craig.
No problem, Dick. Thank you.
Good to have you on the show this morning. Craig Keating, the AFL Barwon chairman here in Geelong, doing a great job indeed, along with his other fellow commissioners. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about all the action on this afternoon.
The following sponsors: Smith's Holden, Buckley's Entertainment Centre, Corio Bay Health Group, Blood Suzuki,